Hi there funnel builders, Mike Killen here from sellyourservice.co.uk, and today I want to talk to you about building funnels for the three broad areas of the different types of products and services that you can deliver for your customers. I think there's a big misconception that a lot of businesses can just apply any kind of funnel to any kind of business and it'll naturally just kind of pick up. I've found in my experience there are a few differences and nuances between the three different types of products. We've got digital products, so this is anything like your ebooks, this is audio programs, this is courses, this is music, anything that can be purchased and then downloaded to a device. There's a lot of instantaneously, involved in this. Even a course, you're pretty much going to make the purchase and consume it very, very quickly. We've got physical products, so t-shirts, products, if you have to buy something that actually has to be delivered or manufactured, maybe there's a bit of a lead time for that. But there is also the potential, remember, of course, to physically buy something in store and you can still use funnels to do that as well. And I'll talk you through how we do that as well. And finally, services. So when we're actually producing results or doing some work for someone, this is the type of funnel that we want to focus on when we're, say, an accountant or a funnel builder. Often there's actually a lot of bleed over between these, and I'll show you how that happens as well, how we can actually start with a digital product and then transition into a physical product and also transition into a service as well. So there's a reason I've laid it out like this. But I basically want to talk about some of the conversion opportunities that you've got for your customers and for their funnels. What we're going to be starting out at is actually at the sale point. Most people would start talking about traffic, and we're going to do that. At the sale point, digital products have got a real advantage in that you can continue to upsell and bring them other products much faster and continually add to their basket. For example, let's say you reach the checkout or the cart page and you decide that they're selling, let's say we're selling a course, So something that's going to be relatively easy for them to buy. It's maybe going to have a price point of $997, for example. On the checkout page alone, we could have an order bump, which would say, we've got an extra bonus set of training for another, I don't know, $197, for example. Just for example. That would be something that we could add on very, very easily, but this is where we can start getting clever. We could say, would you like, in the physical product realm, a physical book to add on to that order bump? Would you like a physical book to add on as well? We sometimes see that courses and training programs that we do, they might have a physical magazine or worksheet actually delivered to your home address, which a lot of people like, and people will sometimes want to pay a little bit extra for that. When it comes to the sale of physical products, we still have our order bump, but the reality is, physical products, there's nothing to do with price points in here. You could sell and we've seen, $10,000 courses sold online, and it's obviously not completely on automation. You still need a fair amount of work to go into it. But when we come to things like physical products, I've seen people frankly try to sell houses via a funnel or a car. And it's not necessarily to do with the price point. It's to do with the amount of effort it takes to ship or receive that product. Something I think nailing it at the moment are mattress companies. So we have who's there? There's Eve, there's Casper. I can't remember the name of our one. That probably says a lot. I actually love our mattress, but this kind of new wave of mattress stores, they're not like regular mattresses. They are selling like really specialized, locally built, like I think these ones are built in the UK, and what they're doing is they're doing some really clever stuff on their little order bump pages. What they're doing is they're actually offering not an upsell to the product, but they're basically offering things like faster shipping. And remember, we've got faster and easier. These are two really fantastic little points you can add, and also an option where they'll take your mattress away. So the order bump that people can buy with a digital product, it's not like I can increase the speed or the efficiency of the delivery, right? But instead, with a physical product, I can begin to increase the speed or efficiency. Not sure, I got 3 checkboxes. I go, yeah, I want to have it delivered next day, and yeah, I'd like you to take my old one away. I can still add extra products. I could still say, would you also like pillow protectors, mattress protectors, beds? Interestingly, they actually haven't kind of gone into that route. On a lot of them, I haven't seen them. They might start doing that. But the faster and easier side on the sale has been around the actual product itself. Finally, when we come to something like services, let's say we're an accountant. And during the process, they say, right, well, we want to actually sell an audit. We want to sell a nice, simple audit to make sure that you're ready for tax season, okay? We usually don't work too much with accountants. So, and let's say they sell a $97 audit. Faster and easier doesn't really apply. It's difficult to do that with a service business. I could say, yeah, we could do the appointment earlier if you want, or we could do the appointment, at your office rather than you coming to mine, but you have to pay relocation fees or something like that. But instead, with services, again, you can start to bleed into digital products. So something that we see quite often is just adding a recording, which is quite a nice simple one, to say what we'll do is we'll record your audit in your workshop, and that means that you can go back over that. And if you're a consultant, that's a really valuable add-on, in my opinion, is to add a recording. So you just say, well, we'll just set up the microphone we'll record it and give that to you as a package. But what I want to think about is faster and easier in terms of the results. So while this is delivering something physical, I want to think, am I delivering something making it faster and easier? The audit might be that I could automate the audit where you just give me access. So for an extra $197. Now, I'm talking a lot about these being order bumps. I'm saying this in a very general sense. These could be upsells, these could be value add-on packages, they could have their own program or whatever you want to do it. This could be something different, such as automated. So we'll go in and audit you, you don't have to answer any of our questions, we'll do it all for you. Obviously you can't add a faster and easier, so you can't do next day delivery necessarily. You could say buy a second audit for an extra $47, so you can audit a second company for half the price. You need to have a think about services with the upsells and the add-ons. You could go the other way and really bump it up and say, we'll actually give you a $997 tax package where we'll do all your taxes for the year and we'll take care of everything for you for the year, and it starts with the audit. The reality though is that's probably never going to be an order bump. Services, in my experience, have had a tough time selling completely through a funnel in the same respect of having order bumps and upsells that digital and physical products have got. They're much easier to do it in this respect. I found that services, in my experience, have had to have some kind of sales process behind it. It's not to say that you can't upsell or order bump either on the phone or via email, or when you take them to the checkout page. If we sell coaching over the phone, which some of our guys still do, they'll send them to a checkout page and the coaching will say, would you also like this and this as well added on? So just be wary of that. Let's have a look at the next stage. So we have leads or email subscribers. Something that digital products can do really well is a test. So a really nice and easy way of getting people into your emails rather than using a traditional lead magnet is to kind of say, okay, well, we can give you a trial for, $1. Now, this is not the only way to do this. We've actually found that conversion rates from a $1 trial over to the full thing, at whatever it is, $97 or $39 per month, isn't brilliantly high, but it does generate a lot of leads. And we have seen that even though people won't buy that round, if we then try to sell them a package afterwards, they've been pretty good. So rather than making all of our conversions from $1 to like the full software package or the full membership package or whatever it is, we found that maybe 10% take it. Ours might be low. You might find a funnel builder who's better than me. It's almost certain you'll find a funnel builder who's better than me, who might have a higher retention rate than that. But what we do find is the 90% that drop off, they themselves have a higher close rate when we do eventually position another product in front of them. So that's something to bear in mind. You can always do a trial for your leads and for your emails. for your email subscribers. Again, physical products, this is where they really struggle. Generating leads and sales for a physical product, you need to think a little bit outside the box, and you need to start thinking to yourself, what is it that I'm going to be able to help someone do? A lot of the time, people will go, okay, we'll just do a report or just do a free guide. You know, if it's a mattress company, why not say a free guide on how to give your best night's sleep ever? Traditionally, for physical products, we found it's actually easier to get them into a captive audience, something like YouTube, or get them to join a Facebook group. Now, this comes with a huge caveat, and obviously these platforms could completely change their terms of service. They could decide tomorrow that actually you can't have, and obviously you don't own any of that data, not that you own anyone's data, but with a newsletter and with emails, what you're able to do is at least download it as a CSV and move to the next platform. If you have people on a YouTube channel or Facebook group, it's very hard to kind of extract their data and get in touch with them if that platform shuts down. And over time, all of these platforms are going to change and shut down. So you still want to capture email leads. We have found that competitions work very well to win, you know, a physical product. The thing with physical products is you have to understand there's still a big difference between having something as a one-off or having it as a recurring revenue product. I would personally rather work with people who have a physical product that's got recurring revenue. For example, Dollar Shave Club, I think, is a fantastic example of a membership-based recurring revenue subscription business for a physical product. Having competitions is a great way of getting people in. It's also an easier way to capture email addresses. 10% discount as well, or some kind of discount. Just enter your email address and you'll get this amount off your first order. The problem with collecting any kind of lead and email address with a physical product is if someone's only buying it once every 10 years, it's tough to market to them every week or month. So you're only going to be emailing people who are leads. The best example I've seen of this is HelloFresh, I think maybe. It's like a food subscription business. They offer you, I think, even your first 2 boxes for half price or whatever it might be. And then if you haven't bought, then they market to you. With a mattress company, it's obviously slightly more difficult because once you've bought, it's harder for them to continue upselling, which is why they often have to come up with new product lines and things. Finally, for services where you can go back to pretty traditional lead magnets, you know, your reports, your worksheets, your cheat sheets, training. Training's a fantastic one. What you can often do is take some of the content you've actually produced in an audit, turn that into training, and that's what you can offer as a lead magnet. Also, the conversion rate in our experience from converting someone from a training program or some kind of content where they've had to download it and consume it and use it themselves into their initial Tripwire or Splinter product, or even their initial core offer, is pretty high because people have had to invest in this part themselves. They've actually had to learn something. Digital products, they can still do your training. Classic example of offering, if you have a software product, offer some training beforehand or a trial or a free version. A lot of the digital stuff though requires an audience build and a free platform version before you move over. If we look finally at our traffic sources, the first thing I'm going to talk about for all of these is what we call closing the loop, which I've talked a little bit about before on other videos to do with remarketing. If someone's at this stage and they don't buy, I want a remarketing campaign to drive them back to that checkout page. If someone's on my trial page and they haven't signed up, I want to create a remarketing campaign to drive them instantly back. And I want to do that the same with physical products and services. If someone's on my sales page as a customer and they think, oh, I'm quite interested in getting an audit from them, for the sake of whatever it is, 20 cents a click or whatever, and yet it might only be 20 people a month, that's absolutely fine. I still want to drive them back to that initial sales page. And I do absolutely everything I can to make sure that they are, I'm top of mind when they come back to it. The platforms, I think a lot of people worry that service-based stuff, it's business to business. They go, oh, well, everyone's on LinkedIn. True, but every human being is still on Facebook. huge amount of the population is on Facebook, I'd still love to take that opportunity to remarket a service that they've already inquired about back to that sales page, or again back to that training page that we'd created. When it comes to digital products, in my opinion, again, the easiest thing to do is to have kind of split the campaign into two, one of which being my cold and one of which being my warm. Now, the reality is it's going to be the same across a lot of them. I'm not necessarily going to change platforms either. I'm still going to experiment with Facebook. I'm still going to experiment with Google. I'm still going to experiment with video on YouTube. But the most conscious part is I just want to bring people back to these two stages. Thanks very much, guys. If you are experts in any one of these funnels, let me know in the comments below. And if this was useful, obviously just let me know as well the differences between those funnels and some of the discrepancies between them. I am Mike from sellyourservice.co.uk. And what I'll do is at this part of the video here, I'll have a video to do with like our Facebook campaigns that we've built out before. And just under it as well, I'll have probably on how to write a sales letter or something to do with that. I'm not entirely sure yet, but those are up here. They should be out there now. And of course, you can subscribe down below. I'm Mike from Sell Your Service. Keep building those funnels.